here we go. Welcome to the very first episode of the Perros podcast. And we're here in Perth, Western Australia, and I've got the beautiful Fiona Lachlan with me today. So Fiona, thanks for stopping by.
Well, thank you. Thank you for saying I'm beautiful.
You are.
Well, this is your first podcast. Congratulations. Perros podcast got a ring to it, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, it's the first Perros podcast. I've done a few podcasts before.
Yeah, I know.
But this is
kind
the
of
first,
thing.
Yeah, this is the first. This is the first. Official Perros podcast, and I couldn't have had a lovelier guest to kick it off.
It's a cool thing to be doing this because I've known you, 3 weeks or?
Yeah, maybe about a month. No, about a month.
Yeah, it's a bit longer. Yeah. It's getting very comfortable now.
Yeah.
But watching you put this together, it's to me, people say, how do you, God, I could never do stand-up. It's a mystery to me how you do it. This is such a mystery, how you can put this together, and here we are. I say this about 4 times a day. I love the future. How cool is this that we can create this?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing, and
the power of it.
Yeah, I mean, look, who knows how many people we can hit?
Yeah.
And if we can deliver some truths and some loves, and
that's the whole thing about podcasting. That's what's been so exciting about podcasts. There's a real hunger for unbridled conversation.
Well, yeah, we'd have to ask 20 sponsors.
Exactly.
It's just totally independent.
But then that whole that you're a product. I couldn't think of anything worse than like commercial breakfast radio.
Yeah, it's pretty cheesy.
Except the pay was very good, apparently.
Yeah.
You'd want to be paid well, though. Because you second guess every single word you said. Because the biggest dollars in advertising are in radio. A lot of people you see on the telly, they're making more money in radio. By
Really?
a long shot. Yeah.
What, because more viewers or more listeners when they go on to work in the morning in the car?
Yeah, and it's still a medium that's alive and well. But television isn't. Like, who watches television?
I know I don't. I turned it off
I don't.
About 6 weeks ago. I don't watch the thing anymore. But I used to sell them for the last 18 years.
What?
So
You sold television?
I've been selling televisions for like 17, 18 years, yeah.
Oh, Perry, you're going to love
I'm
this.
the devil. I am the fucking devil. But you know what?
But
Someone's got to do it, right?
Wow, you are the devil. You bring the flat screens
Mm-hmm.
into good Christian homes.
I didn't put a gun to their head. They came in and they bought it.
The big old, like it's the last big TV that had the big back.
Yeah, the rear projections we call those.
Yes, right. So I often say my guardian angel's a cunt, and she is. Because it's just a throwaway line. But I remember going into Harvey Norman in Alice Springs.
Oh, look out.
And I'm like, I'm so sick of this TV that doesn't. So I'm like, no, I'm getting a really good TV, the best.
What did you buy?
The last one of those, 2 days before flat screens came in.
Do you remember the brand?
Yes, Sanyo.
Okay.
And it was huge, had the speakers down the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, we were like Bogan City. We finally got the biggest screen. It was so bad, the vision. Like,
yeah, the angle. Yeah, as soon as you walk off on an angle, you can't see anything.
So bad. And guess how much we paid for it? That's what makes me laugh to
$8,000?
this day. Yes! No, it was $4,000.
Okay.
But
Plasmas, when flash screens came out, they were like 10, 20 grand. Like easy for a 42-inch.
oh, just madness that we missed. I mean, it was embarrassing within a fortnight. But that's how late in the day we were. So that kid at Harvey Norman, God, he must have seen me coming.
Nah, as an ex-Harvey Norman guy, like you wouldn't have.
Are you ex-Harvey Norman?
I'm ex-Harvey's, ex-Good Guys. I've been around the block, and it's all good. It's all the same. It's all the same thing, right?
Yeah.
But when a new product comes out, there's another one coming next week anyway. Like with computers and technology, it's just how it is, and so it's the nature of the beast. It's obsolete before you've even bought it.
Yeah. And that's kind of evil, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's consumerism and technology, and it's like a vicious machine that just sucks everyone in.
So Apple would, here's the thing that shits me, like they would know, like when you get a new phone, you've got to buy the new plugs and the new...
Yeah, they get new adapters,
That's all deliberate, isn't it?
100%.
Just for us to spend money.
Yeah, it's an accessory. So there's profit in the accessory, and they make the cable like just for that product or just for Apple. So it's what they call a proprietary cable. I think they call it a proprietary cable.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it only works with their product, so they charge more for it.
It's so extraordinary to think that, as I said before, I think I say 5 to 10 times a day, I love the future, because the things that we literally are seeing before our eyes come true, and I can't wait to, because it's exponential, you see. What are we possible? What do you think we're going to be looking at?
Like I'm already working on it. Like
what?
Time travel.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
See, this is where my mind gets to a point. It could break, but I'm going to try. Try and explain, like I'm 8.
Yeah.
What time travel is?
Going back in time or forward.
Which should technically take you, like
Back
the
or
movies
forward.
do, to another place.
100%. And so my theory or my thoughts, and this is just my wild imagination, is that the future already is, so to speak. So we're in year 2021. Who's to say that 2250s happened already? Some guys invented the machine and then brought it back.
Oh.
Who's to say that I haven't already invented the time machine and I don't even know? Right? I know, right?
Yeah.
And so what I do is like I wake up every morning. It's like a ritual. I'll do a little almost like a prayer. It's not a prayer, but I bless. Like I ward off evil spirits. And I have friends that are in America and in Poland and all over the world. And they're in different time zones. And in Australia, we're like a day in front. So we're actually in the future, and we don't even know it, or we don't even recognise that. So when it's Wednesday here, it's Tuesday over there.
Yeah.
And then so I talk about trying to break that barrier of time.
Time is definitely something that we probably only know 2% about in the big scheme. Does that make sense to you?
Sort of, but the whole concept of time is questionable as well.
Yes, it's
it's a measurement of time that was designed to measure things, I guess.
Yeah, but it's weird, because I know it's a cliche to say that the older you get, the quicker time goes, but it really does. It's not the same. It's not the same time. There's no way.
It goes faster. When I turned 21, since I've turned 21, it's like just time flies.
Well, at 58, it's boom, 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 another day.
Yeah. I always forget what day it is. I always, what day is it today? Is it Tuesday? Is it Wednesday? I don't even know anymore. And it doesn't even matter to me anymore, because I really don't
it doesn't
care,
matter,
because,
does it?
Well, in my opinion anyway, like, someone made up the 7-day cycle, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. For me, I could go day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's all some shit. It's just the same shit, different day. So this whole 7-day week cycle where we're trained as a community or a culture that we're just going to go have a barbecue and kick the footy on a Saturday, I don't buy it. Like, I don't fucking buy it. But again, I'm a cynic or whatever you want to call it. All right, that's how I feel.
Yeah. There is something so obedient about humans, isn't there? Like,
They're programmed.
Right, Saturday, time to relax.
It's hard to relax. I find it hard to wind down.
I find it so easy.
I'm envious because I'm always battling the clock. There's not enough hours in the day for me to get the shit done that I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly spinning all these plates. I've got so many things going through my head and so many little projects, you know, that I got so much to do, and my time on this earth is limited. You don't know when it's going to end. You really don't. So I'm trying my best to do as many cool things as I can and leave something behind for when I'm gone. You know, and that's the reality or the mortality. It's like, you know, the older I get, the more I realise my mortality.
Does it scare you?
No, because that's where I go into immortality. And immortality is a whole nother realm. So, you know, if you follow me already, if you don't, like, I have a coffee business, it's called 5161. And like I have these different names for my coffees, and my signature coffee is Tony, which is named after my dad.
Tony,
hey, Tony fucking. And you know, I have my own one called Pero Marco, so Pero Marco is my middle name.
Yeah.
So
Pero Marco's.
Yes.
Sounds like a restaurant.
Yeah, or a brand.
I booked the best table at Pero Marco's. What's that?
Well, it's also a brand. So as in, I have merchandise like T-shirts and whatnot coming out, and it's going to be like a whole new Tommy Hilfiger, Ralph Lauren. You know,
really?
This Pero Marco, I think it's sophisticated. It's a nice, fancy sort of name, like a nice restaurant. And you know, it's me, and you know, I want to brand that. Well, I am branding it as we speak. So but it's back to the immortality thing. Is like, if I can build this coffee that it like fucking resonates and people enjoy it, it lives forever. Because I think about, okay, if people are drinking Pero Marco when I'm gone, my name lives forever.
Yeah.
And the legend lives forever, i.e. immortality. Same with my dad, Tony. So like, I'm on a mission because my dad's not around anymore. He died when I was really young. You know, I want to push that brand, Tony, to a point where it's a household name. And then he lives forever. His spirit lives forever.
That's a really beautiful motive. Or not motive, but purpose.
Well, that's right. And, you know, I sold a lot of TVs over the years. You're the guest on my show, but fuck, I'm on a rant now. But you feel me, right? Like, I've sold all these TVs and all these years helping people, and the general consumers don't give a fuck. They don't appreciate what I've done for them.
If you saw me coming, would you have said, hey?
I treat everybody the
That's
same.
a lot of money to spend on this dinosaur. There's a flat screen coming out next week.
Yeah, yes and no. It's like, you know, but I forgot where I was going with the coffee thing. No, they're selling to TVs. That's right. So I don't want to live a life where I just sell TVs for people my whole life and they don't really appreciate it, and then I drop dead and I die. And that's what I want to be remembered for something. I want a legacy. You know, and I don't have any kids, and if I do or did, I'd like them to have something to remember me by. Now, I've got a heap of music and shit out there that, you know, that's all will live forever. But coffee is my thing.
It really is.
Yeah, and it's cold drip coffee, which is different. So it's like a strong coffee. It's sort of like meth. It's like speed, but it's not speed.
I've had it. It's very similar to methamphetamine. Yes, your coffee. No, it's bloody gorgeous. Because I'm a coffee lover of a particularly every South Australian is a bit of a connoisseur. We love our iced coffee, and I turned yours into iced coffee.
That's right.
Because what was the flavour? We used to have that when we were kids. I forget that I'm fucking nearly 60. But I remember when we were kids, that's all coffee was. Before...
Well, iced coffee.
No, coffee. I remember before Nescafe.
Okay.
And it was a syrup.
Yeah, but that's what I do.
But yours is gorgeous.
Well, it's thicker than anything that's out there. It's like a oil. It's like the hash oil of coffee. It's fucking thick.
I want to give Josh Gibson some because he has... His coffee is when he breaks his fast every day. Like he what's the diet?
Intermittent fasting.
Keto.
Ketosis or keto diet. No carbs.
And he sticks an oil in the coffee, or?
Yeah. There's a cannabis oil. It's got no psychoactive ingredient in there.
Well, then what's the point of it?
It's some health benefits. So the marijuana plant actually has a lot of health benefits.
Does it?
And that's a whole nother fucking tangent.
Well, let's just touch on that for a minute, because isn't that fucking crazy?
It is.
That this... honestly, it grew out of the ground. Mother Nature meant it to be fucking found, surely.
But tobacco's okay, but tobacco's going to kill you, right? Like tobacco is actually addictive. It's a physical addiction, and it kills you. But that's okay. But don't dare grow your own tobacco plant in the backyard because you actually get fined more than you would if you had the dope pro.
No way, really?
Yeah, because you don't undercut the government. That's for sure. It's all about money.
Yeah. Russell Brand was right.
But look, I'm gonna flip this back onto you now because again, you're the guest on my show. And,
It's lovely being on your show.
and it's lovely having you here. And in Perth, like fucking shout out to Perth. I like this city. I've been here for what, 8 hours. I like it.
I love Perth.
Yeah, so that's why I thought I'd get on the emus. It's good shit.
Oh, that's a when in Rome thing. Yeah.
Fucking oath, I got a mate of mine that I met when I was overseas, and he's actually got this thing tattooed on the back of his ball sack. He just pulled out his ball sack out of nowhere and he showed me this tattoo. And he's like, "Fucking Perth, mate, you're fucking emu cunt." Like, okay, so that's the first thing I did when we got off the plane. I fucking pulled over and I got a slab of emu. It goes alright.
Can you just backtrack a bit to the ball sack?
Yes.
So, yeah. Why do you need the ball sack? Does that add to the...
Oh, look, I'm not going to pull it out, right, guys, but there's the balls that your balls hang. So it's the back of the sack. The back of the sack. So he pulls up his sack. He pulls up his sack. Yeah, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am freeballing. It's warm here. It's a bit humid in Perth today. But yeah, I don't know. He likes to just have it like tucked back there so he can just.
There's no point tattooing the back of your ball sack if you're not going to get it out and show people, is it?
That's right. But he's representing where he's from, and that's what I'm all about. I'm all about that. Like, I'm from Ranella in South Australia, you know, and I love it. And like, I don't have it tattooed on my nutsack, but you know, respect.
Because you keep forgetting it, it slips your mind, doesn't it? Oh, I must get my ball sack tattooed.
Look, he got loose one night. He told me he was like loose as fuck, and tattoo gun came out at a party or some shit.
It's such a nightmare. I mean, how many people have done that? It's just crazy.
It looked okay though. It looked alright. Yeah. I mean, I didn't touch it or anything, but it looked okay. I mean, it's his body.
It would hurt, I imagine.
Yeah, but he was off his fucking head when he got it done. So
yeah, right.
It's done.
I think I should get a tattoo.
Do you not have a tattoo?
No.
Okay, so yeah, I highly recommend that you get one because you're
only
going to live once, and what would you? There's all sorts of possibilities, but the actual experience of getting a tattoo is very, very unique. Like I've got 2 tattoos, and I won't strip for you now, but
John Pinder's a tattooist, a comedian who I'm podcasting with, hopefully this week. It's art for that. Like, it's really...
It's art, but it's a deal for life. It's like my first tattoo, like I hung out with these boys fucking 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they were in Bali, and then I came back home to Australia. And then I went back, and then I did it, you know, and I built the trust with these guys. So for me, it's a deal for life.
They're Balinese people.
Well, my tattoos are from Balinese people, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
And you know, it's a different ballgame over there. They bless the store, like the shop. They prayers and ceremonies and all sorts of shit, incense, banana leaves. You know,
yeah.
It's a whole different experience. But the time that you sit in the chair and you get the tattoo like done,
yeah,
it's fucking. It's like a...
What, like a rush?
It's a rush, but it's a fucking intense. Like, time slows down because you're under pain. So when you listen to music, like I'll put on an album, I'll listen for an album from start to finish. You know, how long
does it take to get?
I've got 2 that's going to be about 4 hours. It's up for 4 hours at a time. So that 4 hours feels like 12 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it does something to your body where they say it's good to have lollies. So basically, you eat a shitload of lollies while you're getting tattooed, and it does something for your blood sugar.
Right. It would, lift it.
Yeah, but I don't understand why you got to do it, but apparently that's what you do. So you eat these fucking lollies, and you get it done. The thing is, music slows down, and well, for me anyway, and I can hear things in the music that I've never heard before. You can only hear it while you're under the gun, so to speak.
Yeah?
Yeah, like for real, like no bullshit.
So you're listening to your own sound, like your own music?
Yeah, like say for example, you know, my last tattoo, it's a Pulp Fiction tattoo. and I sat for 4 hours, and I listened to one of my favourite bands, Tool, which I listen to occasionally, but they're an album bandings from the album from start to finish, and then you hear these lyrics, or I was hearing lyrics that I've never heard before, and the lyrics were making so much more sense. Like there's this track where the guy from Tool is talking about pain is just an illusion, and he's singing about pain is just an illusion. Now, I've got this tattoo going in my fucking chest, fucking it hurts, like but it's like it's a mental thing. It's only hurting like mentally.
The power that this is going to be, what's between our ears, is I reckon it's the next big thing. It's the human brain, but I keep saying, and I don't know what I mean when I say it, but I think that. I think I will be alive to see it. We're going to understand how very much more we're capable of than we think we are. That's the next big thing for humanity, I think.
I think computers are. I think they're going to start putting chips in us and just make us like superhuman. Upgrade the RAM.
I don't think it's anything like that is on the cards at all, but I think it's really interesting that everyone has such a dystopian, like worst case scenario. The world's bad, it's going to end badly. Why would you think that?
Okay, so look, have you heard of the Black Eyed Peas? will.i.am?
Yeah.
He was on The Voice, He's heavily invested and involved in the world of artificial intelligence, like AI. Like he's fucking top of the chain in that world.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
what is that? What do you mean?
Is in that industry of AI.
Silicon Valley, or no?
No, Silicon Valley is one thing, but artificial intelligence is a whole nother. The computers.
What is it? Yeah.
The computer's thinking for itself. It's doing things automatically, like fucking everything's AI. Like now there's face recognition technology. When you go for a walk and they scan your face, on the cameras. That's artificial intelligence. Like the camera is scanning for certain things, and it can pick up things, and they can send a signal to a cop, and they can like say, for example, when I was talking to you on the street a couple of weeks ago in Adelaide, it's 3 a.m. Big, tall, fucking scary guy talking to a little white woman, right?
Yeah, a delicate flower of a woman.
Now, they told me that someone called them because I was, waving my hands or I was loud. But in my opinion, I think that me waving my hands would have flagged off the AI. The motion sensor.
So a machine has gone, big man, small woman, hands moving.
The motion, like a sensor.
Wow.
But look, I could be fucked in the head. I don't know. But will.i.am, he does speeches, like keynote speeches, and he talks about the benefits of what AI can do for us, but also it can really, backfire as well. So it needs to be done in the right sort of fashion. And I've been lucky enough to spend some time with him, and I believe what he's talking about. And then in this whole new world of COVID and everything, like it does play a role. It plays a role. So. I think AI and robots, like look at the vacuum cleaners now, like Harvey Norman and all that, they've got these vacuum cleaners running around their own fucking mind.
I love the future.
I love it, but I hate it because it's scary, because one day the machine's going to take over. I mean, I don't know if I watch too many sci-fi movies, but Skynet, Terminator, like Terminator 2.
But what if the more probable scenario is that the best predictor of the future is the past? What is the one thing humans have always done, without exception, is to improve.
That's right. Like at the supermarket now, like it's all self-serve. There's less staff doing it. So the thing is, as the technology evolves, certain jobs become redundant.
Yeah.
Because it's more efficient to use the computer.
Yeah, but why do we have to work anyway?
Cash money. People need to eat.
Yeah, but there's other ways.
I know.
We've all. It's interesting to me how the system, or whatever it is, I guess the big brother, it's a toothless tiger to me. It doesn't frighten me in the slightest.
I think that maybe you haven't been aware of it yet. I'm just guessing, like for me, I've seen a lot of vans around Adelaide lately. In Perth I haven't because I've been here for 2 minutes, but there's a lot of vans everywhere in Adelaide. There's fucking vans, there's cars, there's sitting cars everywhere. I just don't know.
You reckon something's...
Yeah, there's like, it's like there's this undercurrent of this change that's sort of happening. It's sort of happening and we don't even realise it. And I don't know, sometimes my senses feel a little bit more heightened some days than others, and I can just feel this AI presence. Like it's coming, and it's already here. And it's about making humanity more efficient, but then a lot of jobs are going to be made redundant, and why do people work? Because I have to. It's in, like, say, a parking ticket meter inspector. The guys get the parking tickets, like, that's a fucking shit job. You've got to be a fucking like I couldn't do it, and I
yeah,
you got to. The thing is, I don't think anyone wants to be a parking ticket guy, but they need to eat. You know what I mean? Like they got to make the money, and that's what they do. And like, there's a job shortage. There's not enough jobs to go around. So I'm like you, where I'm an entrepreneur or creative and finding ways that I can make income in different pockets or different streams of income with my coffee, or hey, if this podcast fucking gets good or gets popping, I fucking eat off that, great. Or even if it makes $20 a month or $50 a month, but it should just keep growing slowly. Same with the coffee. But then I could be my own boss. I don't have to answer to nobody. And I for 20 years.
Oh, the best.
Yeah, I have to please all these customers that don't appreciate it, and then you got a boss you got to answer to. You got to work these rosters. You don't want to work one day. Say John Farnham's in town. You get invited, and then they say no, you can't go. And it's like, fuck, man, I wanted to go see John Farnham, and then COVID. No, for real. I missed out on John Farnham. I should have been backstage with John Farnham. I'm not even fucking joking.
When was this?
Fucking just before COVID, like 2019. So, like, again, I got invited on the day to go to the gig. I had a lift organised, like, to be picked up at 3 o'clock from work, and it was in the Barossa Valley. I was in Marion, which is like an hour from Barossa Valley. And, my friend was coming through at 3 o'clock. She was like, I can pick you up at 3. And my boss was like, oh, we'll see how it goes. And then after I already said that, like, sorry, she's not going to come now, right? He goes, oh, you can go. So at like 2:30, he said I could go, but he just wanted to make me sweat there for a bit and have that power over me. Where I should have just gone, I'm going to have a fucking sickie today and not go, because I don't know, I have this thing where I just can't lie like that. Like I just keep it real. And if I say, if my name's on a roster and I'm there to do it, I'm going to do it. I don't do anything half-assed, And it's a curse and it's a blessing at the same time.
Yeah. That. Oh God, there's just something you said, and I'm like, oh fuck, I really want to talk to you about it. And it goes, this is what I've noticed, like very recently, that I've never noticed before, and it's, oh fuck, it's gone again. I hate my brain.
That's all right. We can.
No, I want to find it. It's like so. The only complaint I've got about ageing is
I'm the same though. I'm a
try and find a
It happens to me all the time. It's an ADD thing.
Here it is. Yes, I was thinking. No, it's something I've got. Oh, yes, in the world of COVID.
Yes.
This is a downside to it. There's lots of people who don't normally have power who have power in little.
Like politicians, what?
No, I'm talking about. Airlines and this.
Qantas, that guy, the CEO, he actually got a pay rise this year. Like, so there's no planes in the air, and this guy got like a
Alan Joyce
$1 billion pay rise. That guy from Qantas.
Oh, that's great. Oh, good on him.
What's the old saying, Fiona? The rich get richer and the poor get poorer, right?
Yeah, they do. But yeah, that's just good. Like I always go back to the Martian theory. You get a Martian down and show it. It's like, well, you're all mad.
Yeah.
What's this guy do? Well, he wears a suit.
Yeah, suit and tie.
What, he gets paid $14 million a year. What? No one's worth it. It's even more than that, isn't it?
Something's going on back there. There's something a bit dodgy going on, and we'll never know. And
What I was saying about the power thing, though, I go by the theory 20% of people, I reckon under 20% of people, assholes, cunts, bad.
No, you haven't worked retail before, Fiona. I've worked retail. I'm talking like fucking 85% of people are cunts. Selfish, ungrateful, fucking tireless cunts. 85%. I've been serving the general public for fucking 20 years, like general public. For $2, I see people cry, like just, but people in general are fucked.
Well, it's the people, and people aren't. How bad are people? We're awful, aren't we?
It's human nature, but
But there's people out there who never ever would have had this power that they've got now. And some people just seem to enjoy it too much. Now I'm talking about security, maybe at the airport, or it's this. You need to sign in there. It's the time.
It's a power trip.
Stop it, everybody. What? Why was everybody talking to everybody like everybody's in trouble?
Is it just the airport, you mean?
It's fucking everywhere. Yeah. It drives me mad.
Yeah.
You need to... Will you be putting...
Excuse me?
Why do people want to make anyone else feel smaller?
Well, it's their what's the word? I've lost it.
It's their ego, do you think, or their?
But their conscience, or they just want to make they want to feel bigger than you by making.
It's sad though, isn't it? Like it's almost like you go, well, what's your payoff? Why would you do that? Anyway, and I love being older because I fight back now with common sense. And you get to an age, and when common sense has not been applied, says me. But this is what happened when I knew, because I fly enough to know, probably not going to make this flight. We're coming in, and I know that the Jetstar flight is 12 minutes off boarding, and we'll make that one, and Jetstar's just there, okay? But cunty lady, she's one of these people, you see. So she saw us come in, and she's like, the flight's closed, there's no possibility of it. And I'm trying to say to her, totally understand, could you do what you could quick, if we've got to make this flight, because it was a connecting flight.
Yeah, the ticket, the plane was still there, right? It hadn't taken off yet.
She's like, use your fucking brain, there's another
Fiona
one leaving.
Let her on.
No, not that, but anyway, she did not want me to have a happy ending.
Yeah, because she gets off on being the authority figure there, and that makes them feel better about themselves because they hate their fucking lives. Can I tell you just a quick one?
Just before you do,
go.
Can I just say, but they sacked 80%. Did they just keep all the cunts? Like, who did they fucking sack? Because all that's left are these Nazis.
Yeah. I don't know, but
she came after me. Because I'd left. I did something I wasn't supposed to do.
How long ago was this? Because I haven't been on a plane for 2 years since COVID hit.
No.
I came back from Cali. Today's my first time on a plane. 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was about 4 months ago, I think. And anyway, I was very not rude, angry, but then there's this fear because they know they've got you. Because a person who's missed a flight, there's a lot of tension and turmoil going on.
Oh yeah.
Now she's excited now.
I love it.
She's excited now because I might raise my voice, and then she's got me. And they will threaten you immediately because they've got the power to throw you out of the airport.
Oh yeah, the AFP, Australian Federal Police. I've had many run-ins with those guys at
Have
the airport.
You?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't like me.
It's just pathetic. So I left a bag unattended, not because I'm up to something, because I'm ADD and I leave things everywhere. Okay?
Are you fucking human though? ADD or not, you left your bag there for a second. It's not like you're fucking got a bomb in there and you're going for a walk, because that's what they're talking about now, is terrorism. What's
Exactly. But also, I wasn't thinking, I might leave this bag here.
Yeah, leave this bag and show these guys.
Yeah,
such
that'll,
naughty, you know.
Yeah, that'll fuck with them. That's what
Yeah.
I'll do. Anyway, so I've gone to the toilet. I get back, and the club's closed, the Qantas Club, and then Cunty's there, and she said, she said, the club is closed because your flight's boarding, and she said, Cunty. She got me, okay? You can see the gleam in her
she
eye.
loved it. Yeah, you just made it day.
And I've decided to be a rebel at the end of the. I was never this way at school. Like, I was terrified of always authority. I was a real gutless kind of teenager, sly. I loved trouble, but didn't like getting in trouble. So I was quite cowardly and just dobbed someone else.
What sort of things though? Because I've told you a little bit about my childhood was pretty fucking hardcore.
Oh no,
you weren't fucking packing 9mm with silencers when you were anything.
I'm talking. What I'm talking about is whispering after lights out.
Oh,
can you imagine?
how dare you! You're gonna burn in hell for eternity for that one. The nuns are trying to sleep.
Exactly. Anyway, so she's so excited to tell me that I'd left a bag in there and it was against policy and whatever. I stared her down and I said, that's a really interesting story. It's so juvenile how I behaved. But that's what they reduce you to. Because what else can you do? They disarm you. You've got nothing. And another common sense defied logic. Years ago, it was every time I go to this airport, I remember it. God, it was funny. I think it was a regional airport, like
Roxby Downs?
Something.
Roxby or Port Augusta? No, Port Augusta doesn't have one.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. So it was about 10 years ago or more. And I was travelling with Bert, who at the time was 15. And
who's Bert?
My boy. He's number 4 of my kids. And I always used to travel with one at a time. So it was so cool, hanging out with one, and especially on tour,
We can give them attention. For carrying 4 kids around with on tour, I mean, fuck. No.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, there was a TV show about that. Shirley and all the kids. It was the poor man's Brady Bunch. What was that? The Partridge Family.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, and what was his name? The manager?
Oh, fuck knows.
Anyway.
Cunty.
What was I talking about? This happens to me all the time. I forget what
I was talking about the airports and
yeah. So it's Rockhampton. Now this was another power trip, but it was so hilarious because it was a regional bullshit airport, and
some redneck hick fucking airport.
So
Cunty.
Oh, I've just remembered this, got vision. So Bert's wallet is in the eating area.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the new what do you call it? Where you scan your bags.
Oh, the conveyor belt or
the one that you go through to make sure you don't have bulk cutters.
I don't know. Keep going. I'll be 1 second.
And so it's so funny in regional airports, like in Tennant Creek, for instance, the guy that drives the little tractor to get the bags off the... He's also the mayor. And he was so they've usually got a few hats to wear. But anyway, so the guy in charge of security at this airport, I went to reach for the wallet, but I had to... That meant I was over the line of the security area, and I have to go all the way through.
Yeah.
but it defied common sense because the plane's leaving and there's the wallet. It's only 2 steps over the line, and I'm like, fuck it. He said, no, ma'am, you can't go past that line, or you won't be authorised to get. You have to something to do with their security.
Yeah.
And it's just like it was exactly the same feeling when I was backstage or behind the stage because it was an outdoor event with the Olympic torch, the original
Olympic torch,
yes, with the original Olympic torch that came from Olympia land, Greece.
Really?
Came in its own plane in the year 2000. The original flame.
Yeah, I remember that. I watched all that. That was when Kathy Freeman did it.
Yeah,
there was a little malfunction with the thing when it came down.
That was at the opening ceremony.
Yeah.
So this was when because the flame comes before the games by about.
They do a marathon like the past.
Yeah, so it went to Alice Springs because Alice Springs is a famous town.
Yes,
you see. So because there's this saying in Alice Springs, if you live in Alice Springs, long enough, you don't have to travel the world because eventually the world will come to you.
Yeah, I get it, but no.
Well, the Pope came, the Queen came.
Yeah.
And the Olympics.
But I haven't been.
It's a bit of an exaggeration.
Yeah, it was Alice. You said Alice Springs. I haven't been to Alice Springs yet, but I think it's pretty like red sand, dry desert sort of type.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, no, it is. But saying that, like, say, going to a mountain in fucking, I don't know, Iceland and seeing the northern lights, is different. Than, and they're both like I think they're both natural wonders of the world, actually.
Yeah. But it's so weird, isn't it? Because when you live there, it's normal to you.
Yeah.
And I used to do my head in because as a housewife in suburbia, in an iconic place, but it's still suburbia.
Yeah.
And
close-minded people.
But then it's hot and it's dusty and a foul fucking mood and they're
flies, these blowflies around there?
Blowflies. They're like
Mozzie's like big fucking,
The blowflies, they did my head in. They're like Shetland ponies with wings. They're so big. That's exaggerated.
I've been to Roxby Downs, right? And there's a lot of fucking flies out there. Big ones.
Roxby Downs is very similar.
Yes, red sand.
Wise, yeah.
Heaps of uranium under the soil.
Is there? Yeah. Is that why it's red?
Maybe, I don't know, but I just know that in Roxby Downs, Cooper Pedy, Andamuka, like it's all very rich in ore or uranium and like all sorts of shit under the ground under there. That's why they have the mines.
Lots of bodies under the ground in Cooper Pedy. Easy way to get rid of it.
But they live underground.
Oh yeah,
they live under there because it's cool. And I've been there like a few times, but yeah, oh fuck, God knows how many bodies are out there in the desert. It's like
down those mine shafts.
Yeah.
Because they're so deep, right? And it's a lawless town. What was I talking about though?
We're talking about airports and how they bust your balls when you're trying to go through.
Oh yeah, so I disobeyed this guy, and it was so funny. I crossed the line, grabbed the wallet. No kidding. He's called security. I've just gone, run, Bert. And
that's your wallet though.
Yes, but he told me not to cross the line. As the guy that was protected or in charge of the Olympic flame told me not to light my cigarette.
Fuck you, cunt.
I actually had a cigarette and I didn't have a lighter. And I'm not stupid. I'm like, there's a light right there. It's the Olympic torch. And I just thought, oh, God, I fucking do it.
You're like the Queen.
And the minder, they're like mafia minders,
Who? Oh, the Olympic torch?
The Olympic torch comes with its own minders.
Yeah, but a mafia, they're Italians.
Exactly. And he's like, ma'am, step.
There's Tony Soprano and fucking with Luigi with his flame.
I would like a time machine so I could go back in time and wipe the Sopranos so I could enjoy it again.
Or you can just get it on DVD.
No, I've seen it, but I want to enjoy it again.
I watched it when they broadcast it, on Channel 9 back in the day, and then I watched the DVDs. But I actually was digging through my wardrobe when COVID first hit, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I stumbled upon like 3 box sets, and I fucking just like started from season 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm telling you, you can still go back and enjoy it.
Oh, I've got to do it.
It's that particular series. Is
It was incredible.
I can't think of another series that's topped that or come close since, and that was an HBO. That's when HBO was doing some good shit. They had another show about jail. I forget the name of it.
Did they do the American one, Orange is the New Black?
No, that's a Netflix one. That's like that first scene, the lesbian shower scene. Fucking hell, that's some hot shit. But the other one was about guys in jail, and all sorts of shit goes on.
I bet their sex is very sensitive and loving. Jail sex between men would be really romantic.
With men?
I'm kidding.
No, it's violent. No, the girls look like they have a good time in the showers. Like, do you remember the first scene of Orange is the New Black? I remember sitting down and watching that.
Yeah.
And being completely fucking hard as a rock within like 3 minutes. Like, as in, I enjoyed it. Like, just the shower scene was like fucking hot. I was like, okay. And the first 3 seasons were great. After the first 3 seasons, then I sort of, it got too far fetched for me. Like, I lost the plot of that particular, series.
So that's how a red-blooded heterosexual normally, like, that's normal, is it? Most guys seeing 2 hot lesbians have sex.
In a shower, in a hot steaming shower with like suds, like soap suds, and they're like, they're fucking.
Well, then what?
As fuck.
So you get your jollies in many ways, man, don't you?
Well, I didn't get my jollies. Like,
well, that's a jolly. Look, you're getting hard on. That's fun.
Yeah, but finishing is.
I'm just thinking it's kind of not fair that if I was watching 2 guys having sex, I wouldn't be going, whoa.
I think they weren't having sex.
Whatever, like 2 guys kissing,
yeah.
It's awkward. I find lesbian sex really scary.
Well,
not scary, how do I say
female on female.
Yeah.
Scissors. You get the scissors and they do like this and you just rub top on top.
Yeah, see, it's like being homophobic, but you don't want to be
No, you just know what you like. There's nothing wrong with that. Like,
well, I don't want to touch my own vagina, so I don't want to think.
Touch your own vagina?
No, because I'm Catholic.
I'm Catholic. I touch I don't have a vagina, but I touch it.
Look, I can't just say, I'm not going to be a victim and say, the church did that to me. My little mind, we've got to take responsibility for shit that goes down in life that not everybody's, no one was out to get me. I interpreted, my interpretation of Catholicism was really, it's pretty scary too.
You told me, you were around nuns and, pretty hardcore, more strict religion.
Yes, very. I guess, when you sing to me it was hypocritical that the word, you only ever heard love and peace, words like that in church by a priest. But they are not words anyone used. Like, it was just, but apart from that, the whole Virgin Mary thing, it's like, she was so much better because she had a baby without having sex.
That's right. That's why I don't buy it.
It's a bullshit. I mean, it's an awful story.
Let me tell you one quick one, right?
You don't have to be quick. I need to shut up for a while.
No, you don't. But check this out, right? I go to this pizza shop, and there's a church across the road from the pizza shop. And the lights are always on, and then, one night I was there, and there's no lights on. They're all closed tonight. Like, God wasn't in business tonight. Come back tomorrow. It's a business. Like religion, this was a Christian church, but in my opinion, this is just me being the businessman that I am and looking at the numbers and not getting emotionally attached to it all. It's all money. Like when you go to a Catholic church, they send around the fucking the collection plate. You put the money in, into the plate, and then it's all tax free. Like they don't pay tax. And then the guys that are in that religion, or you could call it a fucking cult, or you could call it a corporation. The guys at the top of the pyramid, they're eating great, and then the rest down the bottom, they're not.
It's not really like that in Catholicism, though, because
where does the money go then? legal fees for all these fucking priests, because like the last one in Rome, I think this guy's fucking, there's like $1 billion law case or some shit.
So I think all churches should be shut down for 100 years.
Why not? But
what I mean by that is,
Mecca. Have you ever seen the Mecca, like the Muslim thing? You ever heard of the Mecca?
oh, I thought you were talking about that new ice cream, the Mecca with the biscuits.
No. I've got friends, right, that have been to the Mecca, right, and there's this gathering of people, and it's not, is it Jerusalem or Saudi Arabia? I don't know, somewhere right there.
It's a pilgrimage.
Yeah, and they all wear the white robes and
go cry. Is it that where they wail at the...
I don't know if they wail, but like they look like ants. Like when you see the camera pan out, and there's literally like I don't know, fucking 500,000 people all wearing white robes, and they're all just walking around and praying or whatever. But like that is fucking epic. Like the energy that you like that would come from that many people. Like again, now philosophies and Tao, or I believe in all sorts of philosophies, and I pick bits and pieces of every religion. And like I'd love to go to the Mecca one day. Like I can't do it with COVID, or you can't do it with COVID right now, I don't think. But for the photos that I've seen and the videos of my mates that have gone, like that looks like a pretty fucking unique sort of experience. Like and it's all about being connected to God, I guess, and whatever that is to you, whatever it is. But the energy of 500,000 people.
Yeah. See, I think that's why the world's healing, and
Is it really?
Yes, it is. There's a silent, a bloodless revolution happening. You know something's up. Everybody's got a feeling something's up. My gut tells me that it's actually good news. See, what's happened, I think, is like it's even me. It's an age of humans are a species. There's a will. There's a will that we don't even know we have collectively to live and thrive. That's its own energy.
But we're too busy fighting against each other, or everyone's got an opinion. We'll clash. I think COVID has turned everyone against each other. So how can we get that? Because
people like me have to.
You're special, Fiona. You're one of a kind. I'm telling you.
It's time for people to speak up, and we've got to stop fucking fighting about fucking nothing, because what humans do is leave it to the last minute. So we took it as close as you want to take it. It's climate change, and doing anything meaningful about it. That's cool. What infuriates me is the people who just don't give a shit.
Well, that's when it comes back to money, and it's like, let's fuck the earth to get paid, But really, we should be looking after the earth and being as.
But we will, because that's the next generation. No one's going to breed. There's not going to be any more. What I call them is suits.
Yeah, okay, white collar style, like Wall Street.
Yeah, who's
CEOs of Qantas?
Who's breeding them? I don't know anyone breeding suits. I don't know anyone breeding soldiers. We are.
I do. Oh no, yeah, no. There's heaps of soldiers being bred. Yeah, South Australia is like the defence capital right now. Heaps of fucking army people here. Yeah. They're storing like submarines here. They're building the submarines. Like we're becoming a defence state.
Well, guess what?
What?
We've already evolved out of war, ahead of politicians. That's what's fascinating to me. As a species, we've gone, no, we're not doing that anymore. Collectively, that's our that would be the voice of all women. And Mother Teresa actually said, I don't know whether apparently she's a sociopath.
I don't even know what that means.
Well, bad person. Like Mother Teresa, apparently, there's two stories. Anyway, she's either a narcissist, sociopath. She did some fucking weird stuff. But she said something that was she said, I think it was Mother Teresa, she said, middle class women will save humanity. Rich white women will save humanity, and that makes complete sense to me. Because you get to a point, like right now, for all the scaremongering, humans in the West have never been more comfortable, have never been less likely
just push a button, you get
to die of disease. Like we're so lucky when you think about it.
But if you just push a button, the food comes to you now, like Uber Eats and fucking, no one knows how to cook anymore.
But it's great.
No.
It's fucking great.
Simple things like cooking.
The future's great.
Yeah, no, it is.
That will come back.
Oh, but then if it loses, like say the generation, I work with a lot of different age groups in my life, and the current, say like the 21 to 28 year old, right? They go and Uber Eats every day when they go to work. It costs like $25 to get their lunch, but they do it like 5 times a week. Now you do the maths on that, like that's a lot of fucking money. Like just make a sandwich. You know what I mean? There's this instant gratification where it's like, oh yeah, and just press the button, and then like and it's generally a person of colour that comes to the door that delivers it. So I find it to be a bit exploiting certain demographics. The whole Uber Eats thing, and if that continues, then the next generation, people aren't going to be able to cook. And then they rely on the fast food. Now, I'm opposite, whereas I love to cook and I'm all about that. But, we're going down a fucking deep, dark rabbit hole now. But I hear what you're saying, but I believe a totally opposite kind of vibe. And I don't know about women saving the world. Sorry, like I love women, but
I don't mean it as in good on us, we save. Yeah. It's because we are the consumers, not me personally, I made some dodgy decisions. I don't have much, capital, my portfolio's not great, but generally...
You can't take it with you, when you
exactly.
die. So it's all bullshit, it's all fucking bullshit.
Get fucked.
Yes.
Get fucked with your wealth. I don't give a shit how much money you've got, you fucking cunt. What is buying? This is what shits me to death. Fucking designer handbags that are the only point of them is to say, I've got more money than you.
No, it just says, look, I just wasted $3,000.
Oh, nothing.
But then. They go to fill the next void and then the next void. It's a cycle. It's keeping up with the Joneses. And again, this is the same generation. So check this out, Fiona, right? So these young ones, when I say young, 23, 24, 25, these girls, right? I see them Uber Eats every day, and then they get the Gucci handbag. It's like a $1,500 handbag. And then these girls are 23, 24, right? They might be earning say $45,000 a year, $50,000 a year. And here they're dropping $1,500 on a Gucci handbag. Now
that's shallow.
It is, but that's materialism, and that's the world that we sort of live in, or this generation. Now,
do you reckon it's getting worse? I don't think it is.
I do, because again, working in the retail field and having these people work under me, like me having to, manage them, they're very hard to manage. These people, these girls and these boys, they're very, very, very sensitive, and they know how to dish out the negative shit.
Yeah.
And it's all give me, take.
I hear that. I know my rights, my rights.
Real quick, and I don't like it personally.
You do raise some very valid points there. What I shall volley back to you on this, and I love it, is that you saw the arse end of the young, really. Because I think that the brilliant ones are next level brilliant. Like I have had the pleasure of, it's almost like I get to, not many people get, I realised quite a while ago that I had this luxury, and that's of almost being able to be invisible in front of, like moving easily from generation to generation without being noticed. Generally, if a 58-year-old mother walks into a room and the majority of people, it's under 22, there's going to be a vibe change, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
But I get to just go incognito because they're my peers. So it's very cool because I'm hearing exactly how people talk.
Yeah.
And what they think, and then other experiences like being in rehab and living in a room with people. People, but isn't it wonderful? Because you experience people and things that if you trodden a straighter path, you wouldn't fucking ever come across.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for it. Like I feel like that's education.
Communicating and talking to the people, learning
and seeing
different stories, different upbringings, different scenarios, all sorts.
Because I've got friends and family who they've never had to move outside their middle class circle. But I can go from where I can go from
0-star to 5-star and everything in between.
Yes,
I'm the same. I can sleep on a cardboard box in the street. I've done it in Bali. I literally had to sleep on the cardboard box on a hard floor, for 3 hours. But then saying that I can go to the Shangri-La and go 5-star penthouse suite, no worries, champagne and ice.
It's so crazy, isn't it? I love that. I can actually go in and out of different socioeconomic groups in the same
week.
week.
Can't talk, but here's the thing: so this new generation, they've been brought up with this phone, this smartphone. They don't know what it's like to not have a smartphone.
No,
it's like the microwave. Like I grew up with the microwave generation before we didn't have microwaves, so everything's just at the touch of a button, and just doing things for yourself, like. Touching or cooking something and doing it physically, or even the art of talking like we are. Mm-hmm. So the art of talking like this is dying in that generation because they're all glued to their screens and they're all text. Mm. Like people don't have conversations, not the younger generation. And how I can sort of, validate or back all that up is me working in a business with 100 to 200 people and me being in charge and having to get the most out of the 21-year-old, get the most out of the 35-year-old, get the most out of the 50-year-old, get the most out of the 70-year-old. Mm. You've got to adapt differently. Mm. But the attitude and the mentality and the self-entitlement, that's the big one. Self-entitlement. Yeah, it drives me mad. But you know what? I'm used to it now. I know what to expect. And they want to, like, say if you're running a business, right, they want to come at 9 o'clock on the dot, they want to go at 5 o'clock on the dot, in, out, I know my rights.
And it's not my,
and I've got to change this day, and I've got this holiday, and then, this is, someone's sick, I've got sand in my vagina. It's just fucking, and when you've got a business to run, like say if you're flying a plane, you've got to fucking fly the plane. You can't just call in sick and get some bullshit and you've got to fly the plane, right?
Yeah.
And so when you're a business owner or you're running a business, and you've got to work with that, it's really frustrating. And honestly, I'm scared to see what the next generation, like say the 10-year-olds that are out there now. Imagine being 10 years old and then everyone's got a mask on and shit. Everyone's glued to the phone, 5G, 6G, 7G. Who knows what's coming?
Well, of course we're glued to the phone. This is my defense of that, because...
It's right, purposely, they're not here. Don't worry about it. Let it go. It's the devil. And I love it.
It isn't.
No, it is.
It's not the devil. No wonder we're doing this. Go back to the Martian. The Martian's come down and we're explaining things to him. Okay. This is the information, all of it that we have right here in our phone now.
It's filtered, but I'm telling you, it's filtered.
Oh.
Well, my phone's tapped. My phone's been tapped for ages. It's the AFP. I don't know. Fucking.
Actually, it is very weird, isn't it? That you can. I was talking about something the other day.
Yeah.
And then I Googled, and the street that I'd been talking about came up. So someone's listening to my phone.
They're fucking right. They do it.
But so what? They're not listening to my phone to bring me down.
No, but they're selling you shit that you don't know you already need yet. Like, as in, it's subliminal programming.
But there's always people like you who see this stuff or other people that come along and go, okay, this is great, but what you've got to do is it's not like going back to the old way is good or ever going to happen. Like, we have mobile phones now. I don't like the criticism of a generation that can't take their eyes off it, because
that's what it's designed to do, though.
Yes.
It's designed to keep you looking at it and sell shit that you don't need. Like, okay, I want to tell you something, right? The TV game. So I won't name brands or anything, right? But a lot of these brands are Chinese brands, right? So say Chinese, right? And I love Chinese people and I love Chinese food, right? And I'm vegan. And I had fucking Vietnamese today. But what I'm getting at is, it's all about tracking and tracing. Okay, so these Chinese TVs, when you take them out of the box, right, there's a microphone on the box or on the TV, and there's an on-off switch on the back of the TV. Now they all are switched on. Okay, and when you first turn on any new TV these days, it gives you a user agreement, which is generally like a Google thing, and you hit OK. No one's going to scroll down the fucking 3,500 pages of text, and you can't use a TV unless you hit OK. So you hit OK, but the Chinese have fucking got the microphone on. You're connected to the internet, right? They can tap into that microphone and they can do what they want with it. They collect data, and it's basically spying, but by making a product that's cheaper than everybody else that people want, then it's about getting the product in there to then program you a bit more and collect more data to gather information. Now, again, that's some crazy conspiracy theory shit, but they are listening. And everything's mic'd and listening. I had a similar experience. I said the word gnocchi or something in the car. I said gnocchi one day. All of a sudden, this gnocchi shit started coming up in my fucking newsfeed on Facebook.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but that's been happening for 3 years. Okay, so in that 3 years now we start talking about AI and all this sort of stuff. So when you say something and it suggests something to Google, then Google will then go, okay, there's a X amount of chance that you might buy this, and then they'll put that in front of your face, and then they start just grooming you to like shit that you don't need. And honestly, like if you turn, I know the phone has so much info on it, and we're all glued to it. Like I'm glued to mine. Like fuck, I do 10 hours on my phone that easy, right? But if we were to turn our phone off for a month, right, I'm telling you, you'd feel totally different. Like for me, turning off my TV for 6 weeks, I feel heaps better, because I don't even know what the fuck's going on out there, because the media is just spinning shit, not full stop putting fear out there.
Oh, they don't let up.
But they want us to be afraid, because
and
when we're
you
afraid,
are.
I'm not, because I turn my TV off.
No, but you said before that you're worried about the next generation. What I'm
worried about is they're not going to be able to fucking do anything.
Yes, they are.
No, they're going to have to download an app and just press a button.
No, because don't forget the geniuses, the smart ones.
Time will tell. We'll find out.
Well, time will tell. Because I also think it's pretty arrogant to think, what are the chances that it's going to end here in our lifetime, that it all goes to hell in a handbasket?
What do you mean, Earth?
Well, humanity, yeah.
No, look, we're not going. We'd have to be extinct like dinosaurs. Some fucking big bang would have to happen, Like.
Well, I did this debate on the ABC the other day, and it was such a fucking. I was terrible because I had 3 pages of notes, and I left page 2 in the green room, so I only had the beginning and the end.
I mean, they have the middle, right?
Yeah, but even that annoyed me, because it's like the focus was not on the point, and that's for comedians, like, to use our minds and create an argument for something. That's what everyone was just so fucking flat out high-fiving themselves because it was the most diverse group, probably the most diverse debating panel in the history of the debate. So, what the fuck? I mean, I was the only white guy. There wasn't a white guy.
I'm still trying to figure that one out, but okay.
There was not one, no white guy.
Where were you again? I forgot.
ABC.
Oh, yeah. So you're saying that, okay.
I used to do that debate with other comedians who I knew and had fun with.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know these comedians particularly well. And I'm like, Jesus, that worries me. This is what worries me. I'm very worried about the state of stand-up.
Well, yeah. Hey, I feel you. Because I do stand up too. You know, I'm not Fiona at Rock. I'm para-aggressive.
Yeah.
You know, it's an art form.
It's an art form. It's a craft, and
yeah.
you've got to learn it. It's entitlement again.
But that's that generational thing. You know, and a lot of the comedians that have that sense of entitlement that we're talking about are in that sort of 24, 28, 29-year-old bracket.
Yeah, a lot of bitchy and moaning on social media about...
I call them softcocks. When I say softcocks, you know, they're just privileged. They're privileged as in they go to a nice private school, you know, and comedy is like just a social thing for them.
Yeah.
They take it a bit too seriously, I think.
Without a doubt.
Because I know that when I walk into a comedy club and I go to an open mic night or a set, you know, I'm different because I'm from the fucking hood. I'm from the street. All right, I'm fucking from the street. You know, I don't know how to handle a fucking gun or two. You know what I mean? Like, fucking yeah. And you know, there's a huge difference between me and them, but then that's what makes my comedy edgy, and I can see in the other comedians' eyes that they're fucking scared. You know, some aren't, but they're, you know, a majority are, because it's like, oh, this guy's not just one of the, you know, the guys from the fucking, you know, lacrosse club or whatever the fuck they do in these country clubs. You know, this guy's fucking real, and he will fucking, like, he could eat, you know, and I could, but that's where my shtick is. And I'm big on the shtick, you know, like, you've got to be different, you know. I don't want to be run-of-the-mill project, you know, Channel 10 fucking, you know, diluted fucking
Exactly,
shit.
because we don't have an HBO, so our television has to please all and offend none. Well, what's that going to give you? Boring fucking content.
That's what's wrong with Australia. Everyone's too sensitive.
Everyone's
offended by
so
everything.
pathetic. People get up to get offended. That's why they wake up.
But me, you're breathing too low. That offends me. Fucking, you know, like everything's offensive. So if you, you know, and I just can't live like that. And you know, that's why I got out of working a regular day job, because, you know, big people are going to offend small people, or small people are going to offend big people. You can't please everybody. And when you're a big guy like me, and you know, people want to establish their dominance, like, you know, at the airport, you know, they want to make themselves feel bigger. So, you know, the little guy is trying to make the big guy feel like small. So they talk down to them. You know, and if there's like $2 involved or $5 when there's money involved, you know, that's where, you know, it gets hairy, and it's just common respect. There's just that respect, you know, and which is what I'm big on. But that's a whole other tangent.
Yeah, you're really old school with your. I like the way you are with service people.
Yeah, well, it doesn't cost anything to be nice.
No,
it doesn't cost anything to say please and thank you, or oh, I really enjoyed that. You know, like, not like, yeah, what's your best price? Give me this. Could do that. Because people get off on that. You know, fuck off, cunt.
Yeah, as if this person is just a nothing.
Well, there's no need to be like that. You know, like, say, you know, if I've got a business, or say, you know, you come into my shop and, you know, you want a price on something, or you want to, you know, get your car serviced, or whatever the fuck the business is. If you're a fuckhead to me, why would I want to help you? Why would I go out of my way for it? But if you're actually nice, I actually want to help you. So if you're an asshole, I'm gonna rip you off because you're an asshole.
Yeah.
And so that's where, for me, like, a lot of doors have opened in my life because I'm just nice. Like, I just, you know, please and thank you, and just be a nice person. It doesn't cost a cent. And, you know, like, say I go buy a pair of shoes, right? And I went up to the counter, I bought these shoes, and he goes, yeah, I'll give you 20% off, blah, blah, blah. Beautiful. He goes, you know why? I said, why? Because you're the only person that hasn't asked me for a better price today. You're the only person that actually said hello and talked to me like a human being. So when you're a retailer, when you're working in a shop, and when you talk to, say, 90 people in a day, and 80 of them are assholes and 10 are good, that starts to wear real thin after a while. It actually starts to really fuck with your head. And you know, and I'm so glad that I got out of that, because my mindset has changed completely. I don't have to bite my tongue. If I want to say, fuck that, I love fucking lesbian sex in the shower and fucking hot steamy girls, scissor fucking sisters, you know, like I love it, you know. You can't say that in a corporate environment without offending every fucking thing.
No.
You know, but at the same token though, they can say it back to us the other way around, or someone, you know, like you can flip it so easily in that office or corporate environment. And I'm just not suited to that environment because I'm just so direct. But I love that mindset and not being trapped in something. And you're the same as you're a free spirit. You can do what you want. You go with the flow.
Yeah.
You know, you do you, and I do me. Like, and you know, fuck slaving away for somebody else if you don't have to.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I'm passionate, and I'm trying to teach my niece and nephews. I don't have kids, but by me starting this coffee business, it's like, guys, you don't have to go and work for somebody. You don't have to, like, you can be an engineer or whatever, but like, you don't have to go and work a 9 to 5 if you don't want it. I mean, I think it's self-empowerment by setting your own hours. You know, and when you sell, say if you're in sales, if you work for a company and I sell you this, well, you're going to get maybe 5% of the profit on that, and the rest goes to the company, right? Because they've got to pay their overheads, rent, and all that shit. But if I own this and I sell it to you, and I make a profit, that's 100% profit. I'd rather 100% profit than 5% profit, because that's basically how it works in the game of business or retail or commission sales. If you work in commission sales, you know, say you sell cars for Ford, you know, you're getting 5% of the profit that 95% is going to Ford, but you've got to dance to Ford's tune. So,
yeah, you have to be the monkey.
Yeah, and so I'm a big fucking monkey, but say my coffee brand, Tony or 5161, like that's my brand. And it costs me X amount of money if I sell it to you. And
Did you just slip in a plug for your own product on your own podcast?
Yes, but it's
I love it.
Yeah, but I'm trying to teach my niece and my nephew that you don't have to go and fucking be a fucking, you know, another sheep. Basically, because the way I feel at 36 years old now, that, you know, if I didn't have to, I had to do that job because I needed the money. Basically, I had no choice, so to speak. I needed the cash. And now that I don't need that cash, I don't want to do it. And if I had kids, I'm doing everything I can to push them to be their own business. I.e., just fucking, you know, what they should be teaching in schools is like, go and start a lemonade business. Go and make lemonade and go sell some fucking lemonade. Go and get an ABN number. Go and learn how to do the tax on it, right? And go and start a fucking business. That's what they should be teaching in schools. But there's a whole
there
other
shouldn't
agenda.
even be schools.
But
What the fuck are we doing? That a classroom predates the steam engine.
Because they want their kids to be looked after during the day, i.e. like a babysitter, right? So one person, you know, a teacher goes to school and they look after 30, 40 kids. And then 30, 40 kids have got, say, you know, we'll say 40 kids, that's 80 parents, right? So then there's 80 people that can go and work and be taxpayers.
Yeah.
It's just childcare.
But I remember seeing something, I think it was the decade changeover. You know, they have specials it was after New Year's Eve in 2010. And some guy, they would just fill up on a TV morning show, but they're asking, it was ABC actually, their breakfast show, and they're asking some guy, what is in the future that would surprise us about the big changes? What would be the most significant thing that's happened in the last 50 years? Internet, yeah. So what's the next? What are the big...
Mars, they're going to Mars. Elon Musk and everyone's going to Mars.
Well, but this, he said what people haven't seen coming is, and I didn't understand how it was going to revolutionise and change things, but it's the concept of Ubering out, outsourcing to get your goods, because we can all talk to each other now. So many, there was so much. You had to see a real estate agent to get the house, so you had to see even in my game, you got to go. If you've got an idea for a script for a TV show, why I would never even attempt to be on commercial television, because commercial television is dying.
It's dead. You've got YouTube,
going to God,
Instagram,
where it
TikTok,
belongs.
all that.
Yeah, but
Podcast.
Exactly. Damn.
Sorry.
No, I like this. I like showing people what happens with ADD. It's like my brain freezes.
Yeah.
Like your TV screen just freezes. Yeah. Where the fuck am I? And you can't move it on.
And I've got, I'm half ADD too, so I forget where you're going with it.
We've lost a suitcase of books. Anyway, I just lose things all day. That's what I get up and do. But
someone's got to do it.
Oh yes, this concept of cutting out the middleman.
Yes.
So people just start thinking outside the square. See, if I was starting a family now, say if I was a young woman who, I'd be thinking, and I really would be thinking this, why wouldn't you get a co-op and get 7 maybe kids, like his daughter, like 7 families that, or children, maybe 7 to 10 kids from maybe 4 families, so whatever.
Yeah.
And you employ 1 teacher between you.
Yeah.
And that teacher takes them, educates them in every. Why?
Well, I hated school. Like in my school,
so
they
you
hated
should.
me. They hated me.
School is not, a boy is not supposed to be in 4 walls. A growing boy, it's not natural. You're supposed to be climbing up hills and down
Well,
dales.
here's the thing, Fiona. Like I was climbing hills, I was playing basketball, doing music, but fuck, like I wore baggy jeans, I was smoking, weed on the
But they're also putting you into
a category.
No, but physically you're being put into a room with 35 people you don't know. It's fucked up.
But the thing is,
with some guy or some woman up the front giving you information that you've got all of it anyway in your phone.
I hear you.
Fuck off
No,
education.
I hear you, but the system is fucked, yes. And I agree with personal like tutoring or smaller groups, but like say music for example, like one part of school that I really enjoyed was my music class, and learning how to play or have the opportunity to pick up a guitar. It's like at home I didn't have a guitar, so I got to play guitar. And they had a drum kit, and then they had a bass, and then they had keyboards, and then I met my mate Nick, and then I met my other mate Kane, and then this other guy Jamie, who's like, sing this song, and then we jam, and then so I'd meet people being at school, have these instruments around me. And then we could create, and that was fucking fun. So like I lived at my school days or high school, like I loved music, and then I loved media. So like all this stuff here, playing with media, video cameras and shit, photography. We used to do like the photography and then put it in the dark room, like old school analog. So music, media, and sport, PE. Like I'll play basketball and volleyball, all that shit. So like tennis.
But all those things can happen. You can go to music class and go play your sport. You don't have to be in a fucking school.
But on the downside, there was a lot of bullying. There was a lot of put downs, especially from the teachers. That just, the teachers weren't uplifting me. They were putting me down. They just didn't like what I was about because they knew what I was doing. I was smoking weed and playing guitar. You know what I mean? Like, and because I'm an artist, and it helped. And you know what? Like, some of my teachers accepted it. But majority of them didn't, right? And the funny thing is that when I would sell them their TVs 10, 15 years later and see what tight asses they were and what they would buy when they had no money, it's like these people that were telling me how to think and how to feel haven't even got fucking the manners to be nice when they buy something, let alone have the money to buy something half decent.
Yeah.
So then
all of a sudden you're more knowledgeable in this area.
Yeah. And so that's where I get satisfaction is because, I've done some shit that I never thought I would have done. Like, as in they locked me up when I was 17 and thought I was crazy and locked me in a fucking mental ward and tortured me, force-fed me all sorts of fucking drugs. And, I had to go back to school and they're like, oh, that's Pero, he's the crazy guy.
That's a shock.
I had to go through that. It was fucked. Yeah, and it is what it is. But people are cruel and they just judge you and once you get labelled, or tarred and feathered, that's it. It's over. It's over, and that's the fuck thing. So, but I think education is good, but there's got to be, there's got to be a better way.
And you've got that gives you timber,
Yeah, but a lot of trauma too.
A lot of trauma.
Fucking hell, like I wish I'd never gone to school that day, you know what I mean? Like, it was all over a poster. You know, they thought I was suicidal because of Kurt Cobain poster, because he committed suicide. But
so then someone's out of concern.
yes.
But then it gets its own energy.
Then it snowballs. Then we start talking. Then we start talking mental health and how fucked that is, right? Because then they called an ambulance and the police, and then I had to go to the hospital. And you know, the doctor wanted to talk to me. Everything was cool. I was calm, and then he was like, "Oh, Pero, would like to take a blood test, please?" And I said, "No." He goes, "Why not?" I said, "I don't want to give my blood because I was under the age of 18. Then parental guardian can go, okay, take the blood, and then one thing snowballed from there because. Yeah, once they took the blood, they pinned me down. I had like 10 people fucking jump on me and tie me up to the bed. Like I got tied up like I got fucking raped. It's fucking not fun. And that was just the warm up. You know what I mean? Because it just went one step after another. But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole today, do you?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because we got to wind this up. Because I'm guesstimating we're probably going around 2 hours. Which is good. Yeah, so
I have loved being on your podcast.
Yeah, and I think we're definitely doing a few more down the track as well. You know,
I'm so sorry though. I feel like I've done. Oh,
what?
I just trod all over you.
How? You tried me.
Yes.
How?
You were talking.
No. It's all good.
Winding it up nicely, but this is. I just wanted to apologise because I feel like. I do this all the time. I do it in stand-up too, but I don't really mind because it's like a dog's breakfast, and that's what my head is, a dog's breakfast. But I feel like in your podcast, Perry, I've come in...
Alright, podcast. Tony.
Exactly. I just feel like I've opened 15 kitchen cupboards and only closed 4.
But it's therapeutic. I feel like, better after talking to you about all these cool subjects, and I don't think a doctor or a psychologist or anyone of that sort of nature could understand what we've talked about, because it's from one artist to another, the Queen. All right, we'll just wrap it up. Thank you, Fiona. All right, thanks guys for tuning into the very first episode, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Peace.
Can we do a cheesy bang? Probably wasn't a good idea.
We just did, and that's a wrap.
Congrats!